More than half of Aussie parents say they're worried about their teenage kids using social media. 35% say it's the thing they're most worried about. But interestingly, when asked what they were worried about, teenagers didn't agree. On the laundry list of things to be concerned about, social media came in all the way down at number 24.
They grew up in a completely different time, so they have lots of different worries about social media.
I think because they don't want their child to be like bullied and stuff.
I think because the news reports a lot of like bad stories and parents watch the news.
And they don't want to be like messaging other people that they don't know.
I didn't realise that there were so many other concerns. I would have thought social media was the number one influence. Yeah.
Why are parents so worried about social media? What are the main concerns parents have around it?
Parents and carers really had some key concerns around social media. They were worried about the time young people were spending on social media, the lack of parental controls, and the content that young people were able to access through these platforms.
I don't think the kids quite understand how long stuff will stay on the internet. It's there forever.
Everyone's going to be cautious about what they post and stuff, got to look at themselves, and like if you don't look good enough, you don't want to post it, get all insecure and stuff.
I hear a lot of social media bullying, and I think for the children today growing up, I don't feel like they're equipped to deal with that.
I'm having some issues with social media now, but I know all that's going to be irrelevant when I'm older. Like, I'm never going to look back and think, that was my biggest problem.
I know that it is a big issue for a lot of people and people are concerned, but it's not really something that I'm currently worried about.
On the flip side, in this report, 57% of young people actually said they spent time on social media or online to take a break from other things that concerned them.
Definitely if I'm like seeing funny videos, like definitely can bring up my mood. When I get home from school, I go on it and just scroll for a bit on TikTok and stuff and watch videos, just calm down, and then I do my homework and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we heard. Young people were using social media in positive ways, you know, to get support, exactly as you're saying, where there definitely are those negative sides of social media. Parents and carers maybe aren't seeing the positive connections and aren't hearing about that as much.
I guess, yeah, a lot of parents might be thinking, can social media really provide that? Is the benefit going to outweigh the stress of social media?
I think it is possible, but there has to be a time limit.
Oh, definitely. We'll let Annika go on, I suppose, on YouTube and all that to de-stress and watch videos. So I don't worry too much about that.
What are you actually most worried about?
I think like schoolwork being too hard, like not getting good grades and stuff. Probably the future, like career paths and what we want to do to like earn money, because that's like pretty much all schools want to teach us these days is like, what do you want to do in the future?
I'd have to say that AI is my biggest worry. I mean, it's really hard right now to just look at a future career where it's like, I'm okay and I won't be replaced for at least 30 to 40 years.
Like our parents keep talking about everything getting more expensive and the cost of living. So you're kind of really worried about like what job you're going to get and like making sure you're going to be financially independent and like free when you're older.
What does this all tell us? Why do you think there's a mismatch between what parents and teenagers are worried about?
One of the areas I think is that, you know, for a parent or a carer, you know, you can actually see your teen on their device. And then when we think about those other concerns that we listed, unless, you know, young people are talking to their parents that they're feeling lonely or they're, you know, worried about the future, the parent and carers might not be aware of those issues in the same way.
Do you ever talk to your parents about what you're worried about?
Not really. My mum tells me like there's nothing in the world you can't tell me. So I go ahead, tell her all my worries and stuff, and she's always there for me, and I really enjoy it.
A bit more open with her mother, I would say. But I would say I'm probably not the easiest one to have those heartfelt discussions with.
Would you agree?
Yeah. I feel like I can, but I don't really do it often. Yeah.
I talk to my dad a lot about things, but I mostly talk to my sister.
Maybe I'm thinking that she shares with me more than she actually does, and I'm sure that that's most parents.
Can be kind of like nerve-wracking sometimes talking to your parents about like what you're worried with, but they've lived through a lot of things you haven't, so you can get lots of good advice from them on things to do.
And I know there are lots of barriers. We can feel like we have to deal with these issues by ourselves, or we can think that people might judge us, or we might be being a burden for sharing these things. but actually our parents and carers want to support us, they want the best for us, and so by sharing it with them, they'll be better able to support you.